Welcome to the StockMatter.com studios. I'm your StockMatter Brian Johnson, and another monster move today in the markets, as you can see from the charts. Um, um, it's hard not to laugh because it's amazing where the markets will go when the when the Fed is manipulating them. Must be nice to have billions of dollars to just, I don't know, just arbitrarily shove into the market whenever you want. Give you some really nice, long, white, bullish candles here. Yeah, you don't even have to do anything. Just ride the coattails of everybody else. I'd be surprised if a lot of investors actually even had to participate and just let the Fed do all the work at this point. But you can see it made its push, and what a push it was. Now, our entry was, of course, above 11,250. That is not where we opened. We did gap up, but once the market started to find its footing after about the first, I don't know, 15 minutes, half an hour of the day, did not take it long to get going to the upside. And we can see that as referenced in the diamonds. If we go and look at the diamonds, this is an ETF that just follows the Dow. You can see the gap from this morning. The indices themselves will not show you the gaps, but these ETFs will quite well, actually. So you have the run up here, the gap and the run up with the nice high base formation that we put in. Let me go back to the first chart here, and you will see there's that high base formation after it got up and above where pretty much that blue line. So we are now at or above the blue line. For any of you that might have caught a little bit of that run, you might have taken profits here, you might have held on, doesn't really matter. Point is, you should have made some money today. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting for these breaks to happen. We have not gotten one to the short side, but we finally got one to the long side, and this one stuck. This one stuck. Oh, it's nice, like I said, to have the Fed pull out its wallet with a few $1 billion to kind of help it go along. And just an amazing run up today in the markets. So wandering sideways back into this support and then up from there at the very, very end of the day. From a daily perspective, here is that big white candle. Once again on the day, sorry, I just can't help but laugh at that. That is just so funny. Big, big, big extended move and another big move to the upside. The Fed is doing all it can to put smiles on the faces of the American people, regardless of how it's doing it. There's no manipulation there. The markets are a free market, right? Okay. Oh, you gotta love a democracy, huh? I guess that's what that is. So here we go, up and above the overhead levels, and the charts just are what they are. We broke that overhead level, and away we went. Um, Jump straight up in the markets. Now I'll have to go back in time and figure out exactly where the next overhead mark is at. I'll have that for you coming into tomorrow, or maybe even into the beginning of next week. Let's see if this holds for a day. No reason to think that it won't. I'm guessing because it's Friday and it was a huge run up today that we might see a little bit of a pause or a break tomorrow. Maybe things move sideways a little bit. Coming into tomorrow, we've got the job numbers to be delivered, but I don't think preliminary were quite as bad as what they thought they might be, and not near as bad as what I had been reading. I'd read somewhere that they thought unemployment was at or around the 10% mark, and it just wasn't reflected yet. So, whatever. Point being, I don't know what numbers will bring tomorrow, but something to watch. Regardless of that, we remain neutral to bullish, which I have been for now how long? Yeah, I don't know, weeks and weeks and weeks, because the charts have given me absolutely no reason to be bearish on them, and now I have absolutely still no reason to be bearish on the markets. Here is the NASDAQ on a 60. We had the gap up. Now, this one reacted a little bit differently. It was only up 1.5% as opposed to 2% like the rest of the markets were. Gee, that's too bad. So the NASDAQ wasn't up quite as far, but we know where it's been. It's just been a monster the entire way. So a move up and a gap sideways doesn't even put it close to any of the moving averages or the blue lines. Still very, very strong up here. NASDAQ way, way, way up top here. Once again, have to go back in time to find where these overhead resistance levels are at now at this point, but it is what it is. Wait for numbers tomorrow and see if any of these try to even attempt to close their gaps. I don't know if that will happen now from a weekly perspective based on what we see right now. It'd be hard to believe that we would come all the way back down here, but we will let the end of the week close it out for us and tell us for sure exactly where it's at. Still very extended, just still a really, really strong move though. This now looks like it could be a wave 3. By the way, for all of you that may follow or subscribe to Elliott Wave International, back to the drawing board, boys. It appears now that we made the highs that we did today, pretty sure that negates any and all counts they might have been working on. So, nice of them to try to call a top back in this area, but not so nice now. Seems that we've kind of blown all that away. So they'll have to start over again with whatever their counts are. I don't know. I honestly don't know where they will. I'm not a professional Elliott Wave guy by any means, but I don't know if they'll just come out and say, "Oh, we've got non-confirmation here," or if they're going to try to just go, "Well, you know what? Okay, we were wrong. Oopsies," and move on from there. However, if you do follow Elliott Wave or Elliott Wave International, this is precisely why you hear me preach all the time that you should never use Elliott Wave as indication. You should only use it as confirmation, because if you want to use it as an indicator in your trading, this is what would have happened. You would have been sucked into the, oh, hey, we hit a top here, now we're headed downwards, only to see us go, oh, whoops, now we made a new high and have to start over. So if you have a good grasp of Elliott Wave, that's fantastic. Use it in your trading. I still use it in mine. However, if you don't have a good grasp of your technical analysis, now's the time. Think of how much money you may have lost trying to bet this way or that way on certain other gambles. It's not worth it. Just learn how to trade correctly and be done with it. So get a hold of me about the mentoring. We can help you do that. Let's just get through it. Just learn how to do it right and be done with it. Get yourself an education and move on. All right. So here we are, way up here at 2187 today as the NASDAQ continued to move upwards. For the week, I would assume that maybe we'll finish up here. We'll wait to see till tomorrow's close, but at this point, looks pretty promising for the bulls. SPX on a 60 also pushing up into the end of the day, up above the blue line. Yeah, will it hold? No. The blue line's going to beat it eventually. But as I said in yesterday's video, will it hold for a minute? Will it hold for an hour? Or will it hold for a week? Who knows? We don't know yet. But right now, firmly above that blue line. So we have to remain, as we have been, neutral to bullish. Keep in mind that the entry was above 1195, then 1200, then 1205, then 1210, then 1215, then all the way up. So you had lots of entries today. Any one of those 5-point areas was your chance to get long. If you took profits up here at 1220, don't be disappointed that it went a little bit above it at the end of the day. Big deal. This is precisely what I would do if I were the Fed. If I had billions of dollars at my disposal and I wanted people to be bullish on the markets, do you think I'd stop here? Oh, heck no. Just keep pumping it up, baby. Keep pouring the money and get it up and over this area. Why? Because now, as a trader, you'll look at it and go, oh, look how bullish the markets are. Wow, we got to start pouring all of our money into the markets. We're way up above this level. This is where you want to be watching very closely now. So yeah, if I was the Fed, this is precisely what I do. There's no way I would have stopped at 1220. The only other thing I would have done is stopped at 1216 or 1218 and then gapped it up the next day to above 1220. So yeah, if I had that kind of money at my disposal, you bet I'd have just bought it right up and through here. So if you took profits at 1220, don't be disappointed. You did the right thing. You really did. From a weekly, also looking strong, coming right up into this overhead resistance area here. Looks like the 200 is going to go down by the end of the week with all the extra Fed pumping coming into the markets. We'll wait and see where that closes. Now, this was interesting. VIX didn't go anywhere. Well, okay, it did. It went down, but it gapped down to start the very beginning of the day and didn't move all day long. Matter of fact, it was one of those things where I thought my watch had stopped and you're like smacking your watch going, come on, what's wrong? Though that's for you old schoolers that have the old, it has a second hand on it and stuff, not the digital ones, obviously. Those just work, but you understand what I'm saying. So I'm thunking the screen here, trying to get the VIX to move because I'm not sure that something's working, and I'm checking to make sure my connections are right. Yeah, the VIX just didn't go anywhere. It gapped down to start the day, and it's stuck right here. Where's that? Go figure. Right at this lower blue line. So here we are again. A move above it. Fed says, no. And out pours the volatility. Still have room below us now. Got to break that blue line first, though. So we'll see where that goes over the next couple days. But as of right now, the VIX firmly back in, yes, I'm not concerned mode. So we're right back to not being worried about anything in the markets mode. especially from the option standpoint. Okay, Apple's up, up, up. You know what, guys? I think the Fed is going to pour more money into Apple. I think that happened over here, and I think that's going to happen over here now that they've committed another rest of our billion whatever. They're going to start, I think, pouring some money into Apple. We need to be prepared for that. Any pushes back up and over this area, be watching for long entries. Want to put your stops back below these areas here just to make sure that these breakouts hold. But Apple's going to, I think, continue to the upside. Maybe there's a pullback. Matter of fact, I'm hoping for a pullback because I'd love to get into Apple with a little better entry back in here someplace. I don't know if we'll get it, but if we do, we'll be watching for it closely. Just keep in mind we are now back above this blue line into the channel again, retesting the highs. You can see we did stop today right up around 320. Here was 319.80 or whatever, so any push back above 320, I'd be watching that as well for any kind of an entry. Apple on a weekly coming back up to the top as well, but it looks like it might want to break it. And then, who knows? If the Fed keeps pumping this baby, we might see it touch this blue line again. That's going to be like 380 or something ridiculous like that. But hey, ride the wave, baby. FAS, you don't suppose the Fed's putting any money into the banks, do you? This is precisely where I would be looking for. And actually, if you're a subscriber, you know what we've been watching when it comes to the Fed pump. So you'll know that, yeah, of course they're going to put money into the banks. Look at this pump right at the end of the day. Oh, wow. Look at the volume. That's what? Oh, yeah, 20 million shares? Sure. I'll bet some guy just pulled that out of his back pocket and bought 20 million shares of FAS here on the way back up. So a huge move in the last hour, especially of the day, as the Fed pours its money into the banking system, wanting, of course, to solidify that, but nothing that we didn't expect. Here was that little pullback. That's a bull little pullback. We waited for our entry, got it above that 23 actually on the gap up today, and it ran straight up all day. You took that trade, you made at least a buck 50. Here was the symmetrical triangle that I mentioned was still bullish in my opinion. It broke above it and ran up all day. Good trade, which means FAS broke down. Below 1175 was my entry to the short side, which you actually got today. It ran down and through 1175, giving you at least a good 70-cent profit on FAZ. So thank you all for sticking with me. We had to wait. We had to be patient. But you know what? It all paid off today. We got the breaks we were looking for. We got the entries. We made some money. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you've been enjoying the videos. Hope you've been playing along because this is fun. Sometimes it takes a while. Patience is the name of the game. We had a bunch of choppy stuff, but now we got our breakout. We got our entries. We made our money. Hope you guys are happy. I know I am. We'll see you back here again when? Of course, tomorrow. See you then. Bye.